Welcome student to the online teaching learning process of R.P.M. Lovely Public Senior Secondary School, New Laipur. Class 10th Science, Chapter 3 Metal and Non-Metal, Topic Ionic Compounds. Ions, an atom or group of atoms that carries a positive or negative electric charge as a result of having loss or gain of one or more electron is called ions. Ions are basically of two types, cation and anions. Atom of the metal loses electron from the valence shell to form cation. That is, a positive charge ion is called cation. Secondly, the atoms of a non-metal gain electron from the valence shells to form anion. That is, negative charge ion is called anion. Ionic bond. Bond formed by transfer of electron from one atom to another. It is formed when one atom donates or loses electron, whereas other atom accept electrons or gain electrons to achieve stable configuration. How do metals and non-metals react? The compounds formed by the transfer of electron from a metal to a non-metal are known as ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds. They are basically going to form ionic bond between metal and non-metal. Let us discuss one example of ionic compounds. Formation of sodium chloride. In sodium chloride, sodium is a metal which is known as alkyl metal and chlorine is a non-metal. Let us see. Sodium, the symbol is Na. Atomic number is 11 and the electronic configuration is 281. So the number of electron in the outermost orbit is equal to 1. Means they have one valence electron. So the sodium atom has one extra electron. By losing one electron, it can form a noble gas configuration of neon in which both K and L shell has completely filled orbital 2 and 8. Similarly, if we see the non-metal chlorine, the atomic number is 17, electronic configuration is 287 and the electrons in the outermost orbits is 7. So if the chlorine atom will gain one electron, they will form a noble gas configuration of argon which is highly stable and complete octets 288. Now, sodium atom has one extra electron, whereas chlorine atom require one electron to complete their octets. So the sodium atom will loses their one electron and chlorine non-metal will gain one electron. And due to the losing and gaining, they will be able to form a ionic bond between Na and Cl. So by losing sodium atom one electron, it will form Na positive which is a cation, and chlorine by gaining one electron form a negative charge anion. And this is the formation of sodium chloride. So if we see the lower diagram, we are able. So sodium atom by losing one electron means by losing electron from its outer orbit, it will form Na positive cation having a complete octet in K and L shell. Whereas chlorine by gaining one electron from the sodium, it will now form chlorine negative ion, that is called anion, having a complete octet of 288. So we can say that when the electron is going to be transferred from a metal to a non-metal, they will form an ionic compound. So sodium chloride form an ionic compound between sodium ion and chlorine ion. Let us discuss the formation of magnesium chloride. In magnesium chloride, magnesium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. The atomic number of magnesium is 12 and the electronic configuration is 282. The number of electrons in the outermost shell is 2. Similarly, chlorine having the atomic number 17, electronic configuration 287 and the electron in the outermost orbit is 7. So, by gaining one electron, chlorine will form stable electronic configuration, and by losing 2 electrons, magnesium will form a stable electronic configuration. Now, if we see the structure, magnesium has 2 electrons to lose, whereas chlorine atom will have 7 valence electron. By gaining 1 electron, it will form stable configuration. So, 2 chlorine atom will gain 1 electron from the magnesium, and magnesium by losing 2 electron become Mg2 positive, whereas chlorine by gaining 1 electron each become Cl negatives. So the bond between magnesium and chlorine is ionic bond because the metal magnesium loses its 2 electron, and or we can say transfer its electron to the non-metal chlorine. Let us discuss the properties of ionic compounds. First property is physical nature. Solid and hard due to strong inter-ionic force of attraction. They are basically generally brittle. Second, melting point and boiling point. The melting point and the boiling point of ionic compounds are generally high because of the strong force is required to break a strong inter-ionic force of attraction. Third is solubility. Generally, ionic compounds are soluble in water but insoluble in the solvents such as kerosene, petrol. Fourth property of ionic compound is conduction of electricity. Ionic compound conduct electricity through the solution due to involvement of the charged particles, cations and anions. As the movement of ion is not possible in the solid state due to the rigid and fixed structure, so they do not conduct electricity in the solid state. But in the molten state, the movement of the ions is possible, or we can say the movement is overcome due to heat and thus conduct electricity. So we can say that ionic compound conduct electricity in the molten state rather than solid state. So students, through this video I made you understand the concept of ionic compounds. For further practice, you can practice formation of sodium oxide, that is Na2O, magnesium oxide, MgO, etc. Thank you students for watching the video. Thank you so much.